Today we're talking pork and beans, with a recipe that takes both to the next level. This dish is very good and proudly ugly. This is Italian padellaccia, literally, the bad and ugly pan. Bad because it's a heavyweight champ of fat. Ugly cause it's made from scraps. And good cause once you start eating it, you don't stop. We're cooking this classic Italian poor man's dish over an open fire. But don't worry, it works just as well on a stovetop or whatever heat source you have. We start by preparing the aromatics for both the beans and the meat. A few sprigs of thyme, marjoram, and one good juicy onion. That's it. Let's move on to the beans. Here we're using borlotti beans, already soaked overnight. You can swap them for the beans you prefer, and yes, you can use good quality canned beans if you like. For cooking, nothing beats a large terracotta pot. Don't worry, cast iron or even stainless steel works just fine. You might lose a bit of charm, but the results hold. Beans in, along with their soaking water, a few pinches of salt, half of the aromatics, and a generous drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Lid on, cook gently until the beans are buttery tender. For us, the stage is a roaring fireplace. A bed of hot charcoal underneath. They'll sit there, quietly bubbling, for a few hours, while we take care of the rest. Let's talk about the meat. This here is the rib section that runs towards the diaphragm, intensely fatty, and exactly where butchers pull trimmings for padellaccia. To that, we add finely minced pork windpipe. Yes, pork windpipe. Pork sweetbreads, a few rough pieces of pork belly, and pork neck. Cuts loaded with fat and collagen. These days, belly and neck show up more often as the recipe has evolved and refined. And yes, a few solid chunks of lard. I told you, this dish is a fat champion. If this is already too much, that's fair, I get it. You can stop here and switch to a tofu or seitan recipe, no judgment. If you're still around, cut everything into small pieces. Mix it all together, and you're ready to cook. And because padellaccia deserves the right companion, you need a badass carbon steel pan like this one. Large, heavy, ruthless. Big enough for all these golden nuggets, and then some. Along with padellaccia, you traditionally serve bruschetta with Barbazza. Slice some Tuscan bread, about half an inch thick, and bake at 200 Celsius 400 Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes, flipping halfway. On top, we have Barbazza, fresh pork jowls not cured, sliced paper thin. Leave it on just enough to melt. Look at this, it's so thin. The fat melts with the body heat. For us, though, it's the fireplace again. Still unbeatable for real bruschetta. Bruschetta? Sorry, I can't do it. It's bruschetta. Rub it with garlic. And look at this beauty. See how the fat melts into the bread? These will be the perfect companion to the padellaccia, the crown jewels for a proper scarpetta. Set them aside, now it's time to cook the meat. On that scorching pan, 3 spoonfuls of that pork fat we trimmed earlier. A generous drizzle of olive oil. And let the fat render. When you hear that deep sizzle, it's time for the minced onion. Medium-high heat, or in our case, blazing hot charcoal. You want the onion to caramelize before the meat goes in. Oh yeah, look at that. Now the meat. While it cooks, a word on the origin of padellaccia, the bad pan. This is a traditional pork butchering dish, cooked only on the day the pig was slaughtered, usually at the start of the winter. In a way, it's the pig's farewell feast, or its own funeral. It's a bit macabre, but, you know. It's still deeply rooted in Umbria, Lazio and Tuscany regions. Never refined, never elegant. This was never a restaurant dish. Padellaccia was about using everything, trimmings, tough cuts, nothing wasted. A dish born from necessity, turned into celebration. More fire. That's the show. Let every piece brown properly, frying in its own fat. He will release a lot of it. The meat almost floats on it. That's exactly what you want. Perhaps not what your cardiologists have recommended though. I'll give you that. Back to the pan. Once the meat is beautifully golden, add the aromatics and cover. Stir occasionally to even out the color. That's the shade you're looking for. Now, deglaze with a full-bodied red. Sagrantino if you can. More on that in a moment. In go the beans. a splash of their cooking water. Let the liquid reduce. Season with salt and pepper. And you're done. The aroma is unreal. Our chef, Flavia Diamante, adds the bruschetta garnish, and straight to the table it goes. This dish can feed a dozen hungry carnivores, and if you're one of them, serve it with another heavy hitter, Sagrantino di Montefalco wine. High acidity, powerful tannins, among the highest level in the world, and seriously dangerous alcohol gradation. Perfect for cutting through all that fat and collagen, along with your liver. Try padellaccia with friends and tell us what you think in the comments. Like and hype the video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to Piatto Recipes, the channel for authentic slow food from Italy and beyond.